Now, how many of you have been interested in having a heads-up display unit in your car without having to purchase an expensive luxury vehicle? At the same time, how many of you thought that, what's the big deal about these heads-up displays? And I can say that from personal experience from driving my parents' vehicle, as well as a couple friends who had the heads-up display in their cars, it is actually quite useful. The fact that I can keep my eyes on the road while still being able to see my speed, my navigation, and my infotainment, it is actually quite a big safety feature as well as a nice convenience factor. Now, I gotta admit, I was one of those people that, when I didn't have it, I was like, that's pointless, that's just a waste of money, it's just a little gimmick that you don't really need. But after driving some of these vehicles that had it, even some of my friends who got to try it out too, they all agree that it's like every car should have this because for the sheer fact that you would never really take your eyes off the road. And for a lot of you, that is actually a big concern for safety reasons. But at the same time, a lot of us can't go out and just go buy a $40,000, $50,000 luxury vehicle. And that's why I'm here to actually share with you an interesting new Kickstarter that had just appeared. Exploride is a dash-mounted heads-up display that gives you a plethora of functions and information via a transparent screen. Now, other than being able to connect to your phone, it does have its own built-in 4G LTE connectivity. This will be good for things like Pandora, Spotify, Google Maps, and even accessing your cloud storage. It also comes with a Bluetooth capable OBD adapter that can connect to your car to help display your car diagnostics like tire pressure and fuel consumption, which will vary depending on your car's capability. Now, the device also has gesture-based functions, so in order to answer calls or go ahead and skip music. But another cool thing it actually comes with is a built-in dash cam. So it's literally like an all-in-one device for you guys. Also, back to that 4G LTE connectivity comment, it can actually serve as a Wi-Fi hotspot for the passengers in your car. And as for the dash cam, it actually comes with 8 gigs of internal storage, so you can actually record up to 4.4 hours of HD footage, or at least 9 hours of standard footage. Now, for those of you who've been wondering about the price, the unit itself is going to cost around $269, but that includes a lot of the stuff that I just mentioned. And the thing is, the Kickstarter campaign has already been funded, so it's a matter of if you're interested in the device, you still being able to get one. Now, they do have an estimated delivery date of January 2016, which is actually not too far from right now. Now, before you guys go commenting and thumbs downing me for saying this is a sponsored video, this is not. I simply was looking at my Yahoo Tech feed this morning and came across this article and thought that this was very interesting. Because I gotta admit, guys, after driving my mom's car and a couple of my friends' cars who had the heads-up displays, and then I go back to my Sonata, I kind of wished I had that. And everywhere I looked, they were either like $150 to almost $1,000 for this little LCD screen that barely worked because all the reviews were horrible. And then I came across this article and I checked out their Kickstarter page and thought that this was actually a viable solution. And I know that for a lot of you that the $270 price might be very, over the top. But if you think about it, all right, well, if you want to get another vehicle with a built-in function, you're going to be dropping close to 30, 40 grand to get that kind of functionality out of it. Whereas you can just keep your car and add this to it. And if anything, this might enhance your current vehicle's functionality and actually just the user interface in general. And I also know that a lot of you might disagree that this piece of tech is really not worth it. But if you guys really think about it, and if you guys are drivers, how many times do you always glance down at your navigation screen or your speedometer or your infotainment for your music or your phone to read your text messages and to answer calls and see who's calling? It's quite often. If anything, I'm guilty myself. And after I've driven like my mom's car, which she does have the heads-up display, and I kind of started looking at myself when I drive. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I take up my eyes off the road quite often, and especially during rush hour, that is a big no-no. But that's just my opinion. I think the device is really cool, and I also like to hear your thoughts on the device and actually just heads-up displays in general. Do you guys think it's useful, or is it just a waste of technology that's going into your car? Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, go ahead and like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button to join the ever-growing community that we are growing here. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and check out the last video that I did for the channel, right over here. Now, while there may be people out there that might say that it was a minor thing, people like me reverted back to Windows 7 because of that reason. So while bringing back the start menu makes Windows 7 as well as XP users very happy, Windows 8 users won't be left out as well. For those of you who are actually fans of the tile and app layout, that has been actually integrated right into the start button.